All right, so like I said, brain training. First order of business, what are we doing here?
Learning.
What are we doing when we're on the mat?
Fighting?
Fighting, yes. Beating up each other, closer.
Learning defense.
Well, yes, no, that's not the answer. No, this is going to inform, the answer to this question informs a lot of what we're going to be going over. The real answer is we're here to physically dominate another person and make them submit.
I can do that at home.
But really, I mean, this is an important point. Yeah, we're having fun. You know, some of us are competing, and there's all kinds of really good reasons to do this. But if you want to be good, you really have to stay focused. You have to look at this in terms of what am I trying to do with this, right? So let's just from the get-go, let's make sure everybody's got their thoughts straight away. How we're starting. Louder? Actually, can somebody order one? Alright, so let's say competition scenario first, right? So this is jujitsu, right? I'm not going to, smack them up, well, old school jujitsu. But no, what I want to do is I want to get them down to the ground, right? What's the best way to get somebody down to the ground? Take them. Yeah. You want to take them, right? So what's the best way to get it to them? Is it
To grab their feet and make them fall.
Yes. Pretty close, yeah. I mean, really, it's all about knocking you off, right? So, what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure you don't knock me off my feet. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to get a good wrestling team. If I'm down here, that helps deny him access to that back leg. He doesn't have as many things to grab up here, and at any time, I can come in, take him down. And this is what you want. You want to, when you start standing, all right, you want to be in a position to take them down, prevent them from taking you. And that gets us to the first stage of getting it onto the ground. But more importantly, what this does is it puts me in control of it. All right, so if I'm here, I take Rich down. I'm going right to side. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to move up to side control. And what am I'm going to establish positional dominance. I want to establish side control. I want to prevent him from getting away from me so that I can finish the fight. Now, start out standing, pretty neutral between the two of us. This is the easiest place to get to, especially for beginners, is to just focus on getting the side control. If you don't know what to do after you take somebody down, try to get the side control. Once you get here, this gets into the next set of, okay, what do I do now? One of the things that, like, especially like you guys are newer, it's like you get here, what do? Well, you've got a couple options. First, if he's being really super defensive, all right, he's keeping his elbows in, he's got his hands in here. Okay, well, let's say I learned Americanas, I learned arm bars, but he's not letting me have any of this stuff, all right? Not a big deal. If you don't have a submission right away, then advance your position. There's only two choices from wherever you are. When you've already established a dominant position, you've only got two things to do. Either submit them or advance your position. There's nothing else. You don't have to sit there and say, oh, maybe I should fight for over here, maybe I should do this. If you don't have something within a few seconds, advance your position. So if I'm here and I'm having trouble, all right, I'm going to go to the mount. Now from here, I've got gravity on my side. He's got no, his chances of escaping have gone down, or at least they should have gone down. But now I can start, now I've got two arms to attack. I've got his neck to attack. So now I can start attacking this. Let's say he's still making things really hard on me. Alright, well if he's playing super defensive, maybe what I'll do is I'll just focus on, reinforcing this, pushing him off to the side, taking his back. Right? Once he gets it back, that's it. That is the most dominant position. That's when you sit there and you maintain that back position and you keep on attacking. Now here's the thing. In a competition, that sequence that I just went through there, I accumulated a lot of points. I got 2 points. I got 3 points for passing his guard, getting sideways. I got another 4 points for mount, and another 4 points for backman. But you know what? The points, like everybody hears me say, points are for determining who lost the lead. You should be going in there to establish positional dominance and to submit somebody. That's what we're here for. Remember back then, that is what we're here for. We're here to establish positional dominance and to submit people. We're going to impose our will. So, just by sheer virtue of paying attention to what your position is, and advancing your position when you should, in a competition, you rack up a huge number of points that you're supposed to have trouble fighting back. In a great scenario, you've gotten to the person's back, and now all their defensive options are out in front of them, and all of your attack options are in front of you, which happens to be around his neck and making his life miserable. So you always want to be trying to, if you don't have a submission handy, you don't spend a few seconds trying to fight with something, but if you don't have anything right away, advance your position. Alright? So let's go over another scenario. Let's say, let me borrow it. So I'm here. Here's something, this is one of my pet peeves. I never ever want to see anybody in here doing this. I won't point fingers, but I've seen a lot of people do this. If I'm here, what I'm not going to do is say, okay, I am not going to put myself in his guard. His guard was open. Why on earth did I put myself in the closed guard? Because when I'm here, I've only got one option. I need to grab the guard. I'm not trying to submit him. I'm not trying to do anything other than get out of his guard. I never want to go back. It's not like I want to be here. I mean, it makes about as much sense for being here. Alright? This is not, that's not tradition. That's just being stupid. So, you always want to make sure that you're aware of what the situation is as far as the positional dominance. And if you're ever in a situation where you don't have positional dominance, what does that mean? Rich, if I don't have positional dominance, what am I saying?
You want positional dominance,
Well, yeah, I want positional dominance, but
stopping him from advancing, stopping him from submitting, sleeping,
getting there.
I didn't answer your question.
It's hard
If I'm in a position where he's got positional dominance on me,
I want to get out.
what is my goal?
Get out.
Escape. I'm not trying to submit him, alright? If he's got side control on me, I'm not sitting here thinking to myself, oh, maybe I'll get a cross-collar choke, right? Again, it's stupid. I need to be escaped. That's all that matters. Yeah, now I'm not going to say there's never an opportunity to submit when you're in an inferior position. But it's not the way you should be thinking. It should be something where if he does something spectacularly stupid while he's got control, and you absolutely guarantee you can get a submission, then fine. But that's not what you should be doing. If you're in a position where somebody's got control of you, first order of business, get yourself safe. Right? Make it so that they can't submit you. And also, make it so they can't advance their position. If Hank's here like this, and I know everything's in tight, and I know he's been listening to me, he's thinking about advancing his position. Right? I'm going to do my best to deny it, and I'm going to use that opportunity to get out. So, anytime you're in an imperial position, you got to be thinking escape, not, oh, what grips do I need to get to try to, put some pressure on your neck or something like that. If it's not in the service of escaping, advancing your position, you shouldn't even be thinking about it. Right? And you'll notice, we keep on coming back to the scene. There's not actually all the things that you need to think about at any one point. Now, there may be scenarios where you don't necessarily recognize specifically what's going on, but you need to treat it. If you're ever questioning what you need to do next, by default, just advance your position. Because what's going to happen is, if you're really aggressive about going to top, or really aggressive about getting back, eventually, you're going to be so good at getting into those positions that even though people toss you off regularly, you're going to get practice at just maintaining that position. And if you can maintain that position, you can attack from that position. All right. All right. Any questions on any of that so far? Simple. I should make a website on Simple BJJ.
I think that's already taken.
Is it?
Yeah.
Pretty sure you have a Facebook page.
All right. So, let's say Hank
Comes over there.
Get over there.
Hank. I'm trying.
It's really loud in here tonight.
Yeah, the reflection.
Alright. Hank's here. Hank is a nice, friendly black belt in judo. So, let's say I'm your average jiu-jitsu guy, and I think, oh crap, he's a black belt in judo. Or maybe he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu too. You know what? A lot of people's first thought is, you're gonna lose.
Pull guard.
Well, yeah, gonna lose. Pull guard. This is what, I've seen a lot of people say, okay, somebody's better than you, pull guard. There's only one scenario where it's okay to pull guard, and that's where you are physically injured. All right? If you are injured, okay, come on, you can pull guard. Otherwise,
You want to show what pull guard is? I know it because I do it all the time, but.
all right, pulling guard, there's a few different variations. I mean, pulling guard, there's jumping guard, where I just run up here and just drag them down. That's fun. Not particularly smart for street use. But that's jumping guard. Pulling guard is where I'll establish a grip on his sleeve, on his lapel. I'm going to stick my foot in his hip, and then this is where things start getting a little bit more negotiable. From here, I'm going to come down like this. One of two things is going to happen. Either he's going to stay standing, or he's going to fall into my guard. If he falls into my guard, fine, I just successfully pull guard. If he stays standing, well, then I have to sweep him, pass, establish control. If you do have to pull guard for some reason, then you have to sweep right away, or you have to attack right away. But don't pull guard, right? It's like this. It stunts your growth as far as I'm concerned, right? You should be thinking about getting the take. You should be thinking about getting control. You shouldn't be saying to yourself, oh, I'm gonna get my butt kicked. I'm gonna pull guard. Don't be a chump, right? Be aggressive. want the submission. So, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit here like this? Listening to elevator music in my head? No. I'm going to attack him. So I'm going to say, oh, look at that. I got this. He pops his arm out. Right, oh, maybe I gotta go for the armbar. Cool. He brings down here. Ah, crap. Well, let's just go for a Kimura. None of that's looking good. Oh, he plants around there. Okay, well, let's put him up here. Take your armbar that side. Alright? What I'm not doing is going here and fighting this. You know, this is not working. Okay, well maybe I'll choke him. In the meantime, he's escaping. Guess what? He just made it his game. He took the initiative. When you are attacking somebody, be relentless. Don't just keep going. Keep attacking. Keep them on the defensive. Make it your game. That right there is very important. And again, if you run out of attacks, what do? Advance our position. But you need to be aggressive about your attacks. You need to keep going. You can't pause. If you pause against somebody who's better than you, they're going to take that moment, they're going to collect their thoughts, and they're not on the defensive anymore. Now they're thinking about how they're going to distract you. They're thinking to themselves, well, let's see, what does he do to him that's really, really bad? You guys don't want me thinking. You really don't. You want me thinking, he's attacking the arm. He's attacking my neck. But, you know, you want to keep me on the defensive. Okay? Let's say Hank and I have been rolling for a long time. I'm getting tired. Over here, this is not going well. I managed to get him out. He upas. This is no good. At least he's in my guard. Alright, so he's here. I already said I'm tired. He blows through my guard. Alright, now this sucks. You know what? I'm tired. I'm gonna take a rest. This is not going to go well for my head. Alright? It's gonna keep getting worse while I'm taking a rest. You know when the time to rest is? When you're where he is. If you want to take a break, get control. Be in a position where you can maintain the position and you're not being attacked. Remember, if I've got dominant control on him, he should be thinking about submitting. So if I need to take a break, guess what? That's when I take a break. If he's getting control of me, I gotta escape. Nothing else matters. I don't care how tired you are, you need to escape. You need to get to a position of control. Then if you have to take a breather, okay. Even if you put the guy in your guard. He's got one thing he can do. He's trying to pass my guard. I'm tired. Alright, I'm just going to focus on good closed guard technique and elect not to attack. But I'm in control. Good. Okay. I am really tired. I'm so tired. But hey, I can even rest even better from here. But if you need a breather, like I said, when you're in an inferior position, when somebody else has control of you, you've got to take that more seriously than anything else. All right, any questions about the positions, general goals?
Dominate and attack.
What if they've got you in the armbar and you're trying to get out?
That's an escape. I mean, that's where you rely on your classes, where you were taught how to get out of an armbar, which I'm going to be doing some more classes on the escapes coming up. I know we've been doing a lot of taxing, but the escapes are a very important thing. And being able to escape from pretty much anywhere, you know, just as much as having, you know, here I'm a purple, and when I'm attacking you, chances are really good that I've got a couple different things going on at once. I might be thinking about choking you, I might be thinking about arm locks, I might even be thinking about, you know, switching directions and heading down and doing something to do. I've got a whole bunch of things that are going through my mind at once. But any time that you start attacking me, I pull out the other half of my game, and that is being able to escape. When I'm up against a black belt, I spend all my time on defense. I spend all my time trying to keep getting submitted. And that takes a lot of effort. I mean, Jordan gets on top of me, and it's basically hopeless. You know, the practical achievement
So
is
far.
sweet.
So far, hopeless. So far.
Oh, in just, you know, friendly sparring, I've submitted black belts. Big deal. You know, it wasn't competition. In competition, those same guys would just destroy me. It's like Jordan, even friendly, he's destroying me. Everybody here knows exactly what that feels like.
So far.
But that's why you're really focusing on when you are in a bad position, you get a good defense first, and then, all right, that's on this position, I swear. When is the best time to escape? Not all at once. What's that?
Or you get like in field danger, you're non-dominant.
The Kurt Osiander method? Yeah, no. I'm saying, let's say somebody's already, you know, starting to establish control, right? And they're sinking it in, right? You know you're not going to, for whatever reason, you know you're not going to escape right then. You know, they've got side control, they've just got finished holding it for 3 seconds. If you haven't gotten out by 3 seconds, you're not getting out right then. So, when do you escape?
When they start trying to submit you.
Right. When they start creating a little bit of space, when they start attacking, when they start transitioning. If I'm here and hands that side control, I can play the super defensive mode, grab onto his elbow, drive down in here, clamp on here, and basically prevent him from efficiently attacking. Right? This gives me a lot of breathing room. As soon as he starts deciding, you know what, I'm having a little bit of trouble, he's either going to try to created space for me to get my knee in. Now, I don't know what he's going to do. All I know is that he's going to do something. He's not going to just sit there and let me hug him to my chest. So, when he starts
Some of us might.
What?
I said some of us might.
Those would be the white belts.
See, more than one of us will let you love on them.
Where was I? Oh, yes. So, when he is transitioning, when he is creating space, when he's doing something, that's when I'm going to strike. And that even includes when you get into really bad situations. Let's say Hank got mount and he's got a mounted triangle. Hank does this all the time. Alright. This sucks. This sucks really bad. I don't like this. But he doesn't have me finished yet. So I'm going to make sure he doesn't armbar me. I'm going to get as best a defensive posture as I can. And he's going to want to do something. Yeah. Just so you can see what I did. As soon as he rolled over to his side, I switched my late stage triangle defense, grabbing onto his knee, pushing in, and now he's not choking me. Not out of the woods yet. But I used when he rolled over to establish this stronger defensive position. Let's say he's setting up a triangle here, and he's got not quite locked up the way he needs it. I know he's not going to triangle me here, or else I'd be tapping. He's got to readjust. When he readjusts, posture up out of it. And this pattern repeats all the time. And you have to be looking for that pattern. You have to be looking for, okay, I'm in a bad position, I'm not getting submitted right this second, but it's coming. And that moment, when your opponent decides, you have to be ready. When he decides that he's going to start seeking that submission, that's when you say to yourself, all right, now. And that's where your training comes in. That's where you start saying, okay, I know how to escape this. I know what the procedure is for this particular scenario. All right? Any questions on any of that? More questions.
Do you want more questions?
Yeah.
You want more questions?
Okay. Paul.
Thanks for one.
So, regardless of how bad a position you're in, you're not trying to, you want to say, you want to win, so that you pass over your
If I'm in a stable position, no matter how nasty it is, if it's stable, let's say Hank has got me in an armbar. All right. If this is where I'm at, where I've got this defense and I've got my hand underneath his leg, I've got some temporary ability to keep him from submitting. We're kind of space.
This is that escape you want.
I know that he's going to do. He's got several options. But what he's going to do is he's going to commit to trying to get this line. When he commits, that's when I'm going to mount my escape. And again, there's a lot of options. Like what I just did here, stuck my head up through, that's a big escape. Or you still got right in my hand. Really try hard to get that. Now every step I make him work for it. Make him beat his knees. Right? And I get my arm out, get side control and choke him out like usual. But if you can get into a stable defensive position, just like when I was on my back and he had side control, I was able to get to a stable defensive position, and then I wait. The first time he tries to budge up, maybe I don't do anything. Second time, maybe. Third time, probably. But he doesn't know when it is. Which brings us into our next point. Even when you're on the defensive, you need to make it your game. Even when you've got somebody who's really, really good, you need to make it your game. For example, Hank's in my guard. And Hank's a freaking magician getting out of my guard. I know this.
I think what the hell they want to escape.
I know he's going to get out of my guard. He's really good at guard games. So, what do? Hank goes to open up my guard. You know this? I'm fighting everything I've got. That's what I don't do. Because, again, that would be stupid. Maybe ignorant. Anyway, he slays it, it's not a good idea. The moment I think that he's about to break my guard, I'm going to establish my own. He starts trying to break my guard, right? I'm going to switch to an open guard. I'm going to be proactive. This is my match, not his. You cannot let the other person make it their match, no matter what the position is. Whether you're on the defensive or you're on the offensive, make it your match. And if you need to small them out a little bit, try it. You got to make it your match. If you're on the defensive, that means you're in a stable position where you can stop the immediate attack. If you're on the offensive, it means chaining your attacks together. It means if you run out of attacks to do, you go to you advance your position. You make it your game. Put them on. Like I said, I don't care if you're the lowest level white belt in here or you're really high level. That's what your goal is. That's a great thing. You know, when I went into the advanced division for competition, I spent weeks thinking to myself, hey, I might run into well, what do I got, okay, how do I got to change my strategy? I've been going against, belts and all that stuff. How do I change my strategy? And I realized, well, wait, I don't have to change my strategy. Nothing changes. I still want to take down. I still want to get positional dominance. I still want to attack. All of those things are exactly the same. The only difference is that chances are really good that that person is going to be able to get his positional dominance before I'm able to get mine on him. But again, I'm looking to advance my position. I'm looking to prevent him from submitting me, and I'm looking to any opportunity that will make it my game. And even against a black belt, you're going to have those opportunities where you can make your game. You need to capitalize on that. If you're stronger than the other person, use your strength. If you're bigger than the other person, use your size. If you're more agile, fast, use what you've got. Right? I don't care what your advantage is. Use it. Now, obviously, when we're out here doing friendly sparring,
Go.
You scared,
It's like I
Paul?
just woke up. It's giving me a hard time.
all right. What's the first thing that we notice? He comes out here, he sees a purple belt, and he's like, crap. Not only did he get called out by the teacher, but he's pretty sure that something bad's going to happen. Right? Doesn't matter. It doesn't change his goals. Not in the least. It doesn't matter. Right? So, he's smaller than me. He can probably run circles around me when I'm sitting here on the ground. So, that might be a really good way to get a fast start. Stand up.
Use your speed.
What do you want to do? You're next. Come here.
Hey, you guys what you want to do. That's what you want to do.
Well, there is a corollary. The best position to be in when you're up against somebody who's way better than you is the car across the street.
I'm telling you, that guy's jiu-jitsu is really good.
All right. So, he's got wrestling experience. But I outsize him, I outrank him, but it doesn't matter. He's still, his goal is to get side control. Alright? It doesn't matter what actually happens. His goals are exactly the same. So, get side control.
Nobody already.
Be aggressive.
Alright, cool. Alright.
Mouse. Alright. Is that aggressive? Right. But he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was aggressive. He kept on charging in. Did I look like I was in competition mode? No, of course not. That would be stupid. I'd be a jerk if I was in competition mode. Like, when you have those advantages, when you're better, when you're bigger, stronger, whatever, it's okay to use those advantages unless it becomes ridiculous. Like when I'm rolling with Rich, switch out for Rich. Look. Alright. Now I'm here with Rich. He's a blue belt. He's skilled. I respect that. Pretty much. But when we roll, I have to take his size advantage very seriously. He's skilled enough that if he gets me in a bad position, he will submit me. I can't just assume that he's not going to. So now Rich, let's say he does his thing. necessarily in competition.
Try to.
Wait, no. I have to take it seriously. But when I'm working with Rich, my goals are shifted. When I'm working with Justin, we're tired. And we end up all over the map. But I adjust my goals differently. For Rich, it's making sure that I can replace my guard. You know, so many times I'm over on my side, sweeping my legs around, all that kind of stuff. Looking for opportunities where I can get control. Hang around with things that way. No matter who I'm rolling with, I've got a certain set of goals. And almost never are my goals in competition. First off, it would make me a jerk. If I went competition with all of you guys, nobody want to roll with me. Alright? There's too much of a differential. So when you're rolling with other people, yes, use your size advantage. But don't use your size advantage so much that, or your skill advantage, or your strength advantage. Don't use it so much that the other person's getting nothing out of the roll. I mean, everybody that's on the mat, I mean, we should be treating them like our friends. I mean, they are. We need our training partners. We need them to get good so we can get good. You know, I tell Rich exactly what to do to get a good position on him. I tell him, hey, you roll me up on my side and get that Kimura? Man, attack that all day long. That's what the high-level guys get. No, seriously, I want everybody to know my weakness. I want everybody to come up to me and be able to say, oh yeah, I know I need to get on you. I may not be able to quite get it, but that's what I'm working on. I'm like, awesome, cool. You get in position. I need to practice escape. You know, adjust your game for who you're with. I don't care if it's one of you guys. You know, for the smart teenagers and kids, you roll with an adult. The only thing you need to worry about is getting side control. If you get side control, awesome. If the adult says, yeah, sure, go for a submission, go for the submission, right? Do whatever you can. Do whatever is possible. When you're against somebody your own level, yeah, sure, both of you, it makes a little more sense to go competition level and have some fun and just see, who's better than you. But if there's some other advantage in the mix, don't go nuts. Don't abuse your advantages. Which then, this also brings us into the next point, which is when you're training with people who don't have your skill level, or you're training with somebody that's a lot better than you, it doesn't matter. One of the things that you should be always working on is, okay, I need to work certain aspects of my game. So like, let's say I'm trying out a new sweep. What do? I work on somebody that I'm pretty sure I can get to sweep. I might try it on Justin, alright? He's smaller than me, a lot less mass to move around. I can get the kinematics and all of that down without worrying about, if I do the same thing to Rich. If I want to do a lot of these things to Rich, I gotta do it perfect. I can't be sloppy. It's hard for me to learn. So what you want to do is, just like when we're training in the class, where we start out really easy, we're just working through the motions, and then you gradually amp it up a little bit as the person is able to get the technique and you add resistance and all that. You should be doing the same thing in the mat. You should be starting out. Let's say I'm working a new skill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play with the entries against somebody who has some basic skills. I don't want them to just hand it to me. I'm not going to practice something. I need to, do something that makes some semblance of sense. So I'm here, I'm playing around with it, we're rolling. Comes in. Alright? Cool. It worked on tank. Next, I might pick somebody like Rich. Now we've got a blue belt that's bigger. But I'm still, history has shown that if I really want something, I can get on Rich. And once I get on I start out the white belt level people and go on to the blue belt level people, then maybe I'll pick the blue belts that are really strong. And then I know that if I can get on a really strong blue belt, it's time to start going up the ranks. And I've done this with things like Ezekiel, where I've worked my technique until I had something that was capable of working against black belts in a non-competition. And that's everything you do. You should be thinking those terms. You should be thinking, hey, what opportunities do I have against this person? Now, if you're the person who's on the lower end, guess what? You're going to be working the exact things that you should be working. You're going to be working defense. You're going to be working escape. You're going to be working on maintaining your base. When I work with a black belt, I'm working things like triangle defense. I'm working on armbar defense. I'm not getting side control very much. I might occasionally get a triangle on them, but their triangle defense is, way better than mine. And again, it all depends on who you're working with. If you're lower level, it's going to beat defense in the sphere. And that's a good thing. It sucks. It should always be on the bottom end of the ladder, where you feel like, I learned all these techniques in class, but I can't seem to apply it. Well, that's reality. The reality is that when at the lower levels, when you have a large skill differential, you are going to be playing defense. That's a good thing. You need to have a solid defense. You're never going to get in a position to submit somebody if you don't have a solid defense. If you've got this awesome, you can attack anybody, get control, and as long as you start from standing, well, okay, that's great if you always start from standing. What happens when the guy pulls guard on you, now all of a sudden you're in his guard, and your entire game plan is going out the window? Now all of a sudden you've got all these attacks and I'm not used to defending. You have to build everything. You have to have a good defense, have good offense. You have to have a good offense to make sure you don't need defense. Alright? Again, anytime you feel like you're overwhelmed, there's no reason to be overwhelmed. Actually, there's great reason to be overwhelmed. There's a gazillion techniques, but you don't need to feel overwhelmed. If you're at a loss for what ask somebody higher level. Say, hey, I get the side control, and they never let me go now. I've got no attacks, and eventually they just regain their guard. What do I do? Well, okay, let's look at some numerics. Well, what's the body? Are you maintaining position? Let's make sure you're maintaining position. Okay, well, they maintain position pretty well. Well, here's some attack options. And you only need like 1 or 2 attack options. Especially up into loop. If you have 1 or 2 things that you're good at from any position, you have a good team. If you can have strong defense and only 1 or 2 offensive things, whether it's a transition, sweep, submission, 1 or 2 things from this position, you're in really good shape. So you don't need to have this complex thing. You don't need to say, I need to learn every variation of what I can do from the guard. It's pointless. You're going to slow yourself down. You need to get good at something. You need to be able to rely on something and then build off it. Because when you get really, really good at something, you start seeing how you can apply that to other things as well. When you all of a sudden find that you're really good at, take for example,
One of the things I learned about triangles, and again, this was by experimenting with people and really, seeing what made it successful. One of the things that's really important about the triangle for me is this kick. I want to knock his head over there. Now, that's all fine good. So I've got a good triangle, I've got a good kick, I'm creating good angle. Well, what happens when he postures up? Well, now, you know what? There's some similarity between this kick here and this kick here, you get the elbow product. And if he sits up again, now I've got an even stronger feet. I've taken this lesson from the triangle, where a strong, aggressive first kick, my triangle fails. Okay, well let's take a strong, aggressive second kick, turn it into elbow bottom. I did this to you. If the elbow bottom doesn't work, well then guess what? I'm going to use that same thing that I know really well. I know that aggressive kick is really handy. I'm going to use it again. Or take wrist locks. I get wrist locks from all over the place because I learned what makes for a wrist lock. You lock the elbow, snap the wrist down. Once you get there, it's much yours. And so it's all just variations on that theme. So get good at one or two things, and then all of a sudden, all those other things are going to get a lot easier too, because you start to draw the connections between the techniques. There's only so many ways you can configure two human bodies. Right? You need to look for common themes. You need to look for, well, I know an armbar is, in the abstract sense, it's controlling the wrist and hyperextending the elbow. How is that going to apply? We've got the standard, armbar from mount where we end up, off to the side and extending our hip into it. But it also extends to things like under here. He's up around like that. There. Now yes, it's a different position. I'm knee on belly, sort of. But the abstractions are the same. I'm controlling his wrist, maintaining its orientation by squeezing my head. Other places I might be doing it with my hands. I might be doing it with my elbow. But what's important is I'm controlling his wrist and I'm applying pressure to his elbow. And I'm applying it just above his elbow. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. You'll see these patterns repeat. So if you get good at just a few things, and then it starts extending those patterns out, you're working the whole better. Another thing, they'll get staying for open mat. Seriously. If you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, you have to put your time in. You can go to all kinds of classes, but if you don't go to open mat and practice against people who are resisting, it's no good. I can take all the judo lessons from Hank that I want, but if all I ever work with is compliant partners, the instant I try to do this stuff against somebody who's resisting, I'm going to get tossed in my head. Ask me how I know. If I don't practice enough judo, Hank tosses me on my head. I get sloppy technique, things that work against somebody who I'm, and I've got the video to prove this. Here's what happens. I go up to Hank. I'm here. I gotta rotate in, and he stuffs it. And then I'm here trying to fight this, and then he takes me down. Take your pick. Lots of bad things happen. So what do? During open mat, I tell Hank, let's start standing and let's start judo. That's what I need to work on. Then he tosses me on my head, and every once in a great while I get a throw in him. And then I look at the video and I'm like, alright, that was awesome. But most of the time it's him stuffing my chest and me learning from him. So come in, open mat, roll with anybody and everybody. If there's somebody left on the mat, and look, everybody's got their priorities. If you've got a job, they can't get you right after class, yeah, do your job. Alright? But don't tell me that jiu-jitsu is a priority for you, and you run off after class. I don't care what your priority is, but if you want to tell me that jiu-jitsu is your priority, you stay open mat. There is no replacement for free sparring. And we are really lucky. We've got an hour of open mat after every single class. There's a lot of places they'll just do open mat on a Saturday or a Sunday. That's no problem.
Well, then you can back 2 techniques and a half-hour open mat. So
yeah,
you're gonna hang out for a whole class.
Yeah, I mean they'll be really short open mat. Or they may only have open mat for a couple of and we've got open mat. I mean, Jordan stands up here and tells people open mat. If you want to be good at jujitsu, stay for the open mat. Roll with anybody and everyone. If you've got only lower level people to work with and you're a high level person, then if you have to learn how to teach, find something. There's always something. I don't care who you're up against. There's always something to learn. If you're having trouble learning, find somebody who's good at learning and see what to do. Because every single person you roll with, you should be learning something. You should be trying things. You should be experimenting. You should be applying other lessons you've had to whatever scenario you're in now. All right. Any questions on any of that? Yeah.
When if the first plan for when you're going against someone,
I can't hear what you're saying.
if like the first plan for when you're going against someone is ruined, wouldn't you have to have like 2 plans?
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's why you want to have, right there. The question was, if plan A fails, don't you want to have a plan B? Yes. But that's like I tried to do a triangle against Tank, it didn't work. I followed up with it. At the lower levels, honestly, I don't think you need to worry about that a whole lot. By the time you get to blue belt, it should be fairly natural with the major submissions. The triangle arm, whole block. When you're a blue belt, you should have that stuff ironed out. But not necessarily you should have some of the more advanced chains down. Not necessarily. Going from butterfly guard, X guard to doing this from there. Do you need that as a blue belt? Maybe not necessarily. I mean, I didn't take X guard seriously, like at least mid-level blue belt. It's on butterfly. I mean, you guys are all, I always start butterfly guard. It started out because that was at a disadvantage. The other person was on their knees. I specifically wanted to be at a disadvantage because it was too easy for me to just go over. If I was on my knees and they were on their knees, 95% of the time, I had side control. I wasn't running. So I put myself at a disadvantage. I went to butterfly guard. Well, not my butterfly guard. Nobody wants to be my butterfly guard. So now I'm looking for spider guards I'm finding my exit. But I'm constantly trying to learn. I'm constantly trying to, as I advance, that's when I'm getting more, okay, it's kind of plan A and plan B. And now at purple belt, my plan A and plan B are both happening at the same time. I'm thinking about the arm bar. I'm thinking about the triangle. Both of those words, I'm thinking of the choke at the same time I'm thinking of attacking the arm. That is a good purple. You have multiple things going on at once. But you don't need that at the lower level. All you really need, again, keep it simple. If all you know how to do is get an Americana from side control, you do that well, that's enough. So yeah, you want to plan A, you want to plan B. But don't spend a lot of time worrying about it. You got bigger problems. I mean, you started what, like 2-3 weeks ago, roughly? Your issues are just maintaining control, getting your side control, and your side control. And again, anytime that you're wondering what you should be doing at a particular level, ask an instructor, and they'll tell you, okay, where you're at right now, they may roll with you a little bit, but okay, here's what you need to work on. Every higher level person, blue belt, black belt, Hank, judo black belt, purple belt, blue belt, even somebody who's a 1-stripe white belt. You don't have any stripes on your belt. There's a good chance that person who got 1 stripe has something to teach you. Right? So there's always an opportunity. That person has an obligation. It's just like you have obligations to your family. You should feel like you have obligations to them. I teach. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy working with people, analyzing what's going on with them. Maybe that's not your game. Maybe because you don't enjoy that stuff. But you should at least be able to have a confident answer, be able to tell somebody where to go to find those answers. All right. Any other questions? You want to do the belt time? All right, we'll do it. Amy specifically requested the belt time. Shadrach Scott.
Amy sucked about it.
All right, I will show my style of belt time, which I will say it here on tape. I've said it in person. I'll say it here on tape. I figured it out on my own. I didn't watch a video to do it. But everybody thinks I watched a video.
How long did you spend figuring that out?
Longer than you should have.
Because 3 minutes of the Gracie video, I got it done. So I think I saved
That
a bunch of
Gracie
time.
video was after I figured it out.
Oh, okay.
It was like 3 weeks after I figured it out. That
You
Gracie.
call him up, be like, look, guy, you need to do it. You need to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the header and say, oh yeah, you ripped me off. No, the only thing I can do is spout off that I figured it out on my own first, and nobody believes me. Anyway, all right, so. Stand up. Now, the reason I use this knot, it doesn't come out. This thing in competition, I've never had it come undone in competition, ever. I've had, 2-hour-long sparring sessions, and this knot doesn't come out. All right, so, first order of business, line the center. Next order of business is not done much easy. You're good. So you've got the center. That's great. Your knee jacket, right side goes in first. And the left over top of it. Take the center. Pro tip time. There's a fold. Put the fold towards the top. Looks nicer. So I've got the fold towards the top. I'll put the center right here. Now I'm not showing you the way that I do it. There are slightly easier ways to do it, but this just looks nice. So I'm here. Pull it around the back behind. Then from there, I take this, put it flat, the other one over top, and I grab around the whole thing. Like this. Bring that around so that it stays underneath. From here, get cinched up about the appropriate level. Now what I've got is I've got one on top, one underneath. The one that's on top, bring it around behind, leave it a little bit slack, and you're going to insert it in between these two here, which is a little hard to see, but right in there. Behind, and then back down underneath the lid. So we've got this, the other tail hanging down here, this one's above it. From there, I'm going to take this up over top. I'm going to put it inside that loop and in between the layers there. And notice I'm doing, this is all really loose right now. But if you try to do this tight, it doesn't work so well. So now I've got, notice both of the tails are above the loop. The loop is underneath. Then, cinch it up a little bit. And once you get to about this point where it just plain looks nice, I mean, if you're doing a seminar or something like that, just maybe
It didn't want.
you're looking fancy, getting belt promotion, you look nice. If you want it to stick, if you want this thing to, not go anywhere, grab onto the knot, pull that down. Pull that down. And keep going. One at a time. Until you've got something that's like this. And once you start sweating into it, it's never coming off. Alright? Hang on. The alternative, if you're in a hurry and have it all too complicated, just take this, wrap it around, bring it around like this. Right? Now I've got both of these on top. I got this thing crossed over in the back. I don't feel anywhere near. But again, now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we've got this somewhat even. Take the one side, bring it all the way around behind everything. Pull it up through. This is the part where we separate the white belts from the people who know what they're doing. Here, if you do it wrong, what you're going to end up with is that. All right, and I will bust on you mercilessly if I see this. This makes it look like you just got on that. What you're looking for, see how this is coming up over top? When I make this loop, I want this to follow along with it. All right, I don't this. If I do it this way, it's a balanced knot. If I do it the other way, it's an unbalanced knot, and it looks stupid. So if you see you're not like this, all you gotta do is just switch way you did it. There, okay. That wasn't right, so I did it like that, but now a little like this, and again, one hand on the knot, crank that out there, one hand on the knot, crank that out there. Every knot that you have, no matter how nasty it is, at the very least do that. Cinch it up. And it's almost completely right. All right, let's line up.